George Groves, you just announced that you've signed with Matchroom Sport. Are you excited for this new chapter in your career?
Yeah, very excited. Boxing again on Sky is a brilliant thing for me right now, and having a fight so soon after signing with Matchroom is fantastic. Boxing this Saturday, something that really is the right move for me right now. I'm boxing on a big card in London, on the undercard of Darren Barker, with loads of other good, exciting young fighters from London on. It's fantastic to be on.
You were training for a fight in a couple of weeks' time, so presumably you're in good shape anyway, but is the weight going to be an issue for this fight this weekend?
No, it's not a championship fight, so it doesn't have to be too strict. I won't have to come in under 12 stone. But I'm in good nick. I've been on weight for quite some time now. I've kept in the gym over Christmas. I've had some fantastic sparring. I've been away sparring. I've been out in Vegas sparring in the Mayweather gym. I've been back. Training's gone really well. I'm fit and healthy, and fortunately, because there's a show Saturday, I can slip on.
So you just said that you've been over to Vegas, you've been in the Mayweather gym. Have you sparred anybody that we may have heard of, or any talents that you think are going to go on to big things?
I can't remember the guys' names, but there's plenty of good fighters out there, whether we know them or not. It'd be something that I'd love to get back out there and spend some real quality time out there. Talking about 6-7 weeks out there sparring, because there's loads of great fighters in America, especially in Vegas. So I've been there a few times. I know my way around now, so it's a nice place to be.
And did you meet Mayweather himself when you were over there?
I met Roger Mayweather. He was out there. Floyd probably was busy that day, but yeah, Roger was in. He's a fantastic trainer, very interesting chap. Some of the guys I was with, obviously used to train out in the States, and they know Roger, so they took me down there, and it was nice to be amongst successful boxing people.
How important is sparring to you getting to the next level and thinking about challenging for world titles? You sparred the likes of Andre Durrell before, Carl Froch. Is tough sparring a real important thing at this stage of your career?
It's tough. Tough sparring is important at any stage of your career. I've had it for early doors. When I was only had a few fights, I was sparring with Carl, and then after 10 fights, I was out sparring with Durrell. So whenever you can get quality sparring, you have to take it. And as you move up the rankings, you're less likely to get that, because the guys who you want to spar with all of a sudden become your rivals. So if it's there, you take it. Right now, as you say, I'm working towards becoming world champion. So training is obviously important. Staying healthy is important, and getting some momentum when it comes to fighting is important as well. And that's why it's important, and for me to box this Saturday, and really excited about that.
You're relatively early on in your career, only 16 odd fights at the moment, but you've already fought on a big card over in the States. You've sort of been co-supporter to a big pay-per-view card over here. How important have those experiences been for you so early on in your career? Yeah,
they're vital. I've boxed at the O2 Arena when it's sold out on a main event on a pay-per-view show, and obviously that's the holy grail of British boxing. I know I'm not a pay-per-view fighter, but that's how it panned out, and I had great experience leading up to that. I feel I've been on the biggest stage now. Although I've never boxed for a world title, I've prepared to box for a world title in the past, and I've boxed on these huge shows and been around world champions, been around David Haye when he's taking on Nikolai Valuev, the biggest fighter in heavyweight history, and you have to use all that experience to your advantage. And so when the time comes, I don't think I'll have any problems.
Talked to Adam earlier, and he said he didn't feel like you were at your best against Glenn Coffey Johnson. What things do you think you need to improve on to make sure that you are ready for that next step up?
It's the stuff we've been doing in the gym. It's about getting that out, in the ring, in a real fight, when the pressure's on, when the spotlight's on, when the cameras are on in front of thousands of people, and it's not necessarily nerves that will make you not do that. It's just that it has to become a habit, and the stuff in the gym's going really well, going really well. And I think Adam's just more frustrated than anything else that I didn't quite get it across in my last fight. But I'm feeling good. I won't let him down next time. We'll see a great performance from me.
Eddie Hearn mentioned today that you're highly ranked in a number of the governing bodies. When I spoke to fighters before, some boxers have a preference on which belt they want to win. The WBC obviously comes up a lot. Is there a particular belt that you've got in mind, or is it just whoever you're ranked highly with, your challenge for that belt first?
Yeah, a world title is a world title in the 4 major governing bodies. you know, world champions in any of those any of those classes is considered prestigious, and being number one with the WBO, the logical move would be to try and win that belt first. But we'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. Obviously, I'll be happy with either one of them because at some point I plan to hold all of them.
And last question, who's on your radar for the next sort of 12 to 18 months? Any boxers that you particularly like to challenge, and any boxers that you've got in mind that you think you might come up against?
Well, I'm keeping an eye on, Arthur Abraham. He's the WBO champion and he's fighting Robert Stieglitz 2 weeks' time. So I'd love to have a crack at the winner of that. Obviously, it'd be mandatory for WBO. That's a fight that could, more likely crop up at some point. That's probably the biggest fight for me out there in the immediate future. But we'll see how we go. It's tough. It's tough making fights in boxing. As long as I'm going in the right direction, I'm sure Matchroom Sport, Adam Booth, and with the backing of Sky, can deliver me the big fights. Certainly, it's in their interest too. It's in my interest too. I've been promised that I'll have a huge fight on the chief support of Froch Kessler, and then I'll be headlining my own show in September. So both those fights, I should imagine, if they're not for major titles, will be against quality opposition. So it's about giving the fans what they want, and it's about testing myself because I always want to box and be tested, and that way I'm going to improve.